Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video. This is going to be a kind of similar video to my tank tutorial video, only it's going to be about aircraft. So the first thing we're going to do is I like to build model based off real world aircraft, and I find it's generally the most efficient for building like tough resilient aircraft. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually look at some inspiration. So I'm going off the kind of Raphael French fighter jets because I just think they look quite cool. And the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to kind of build the frame. Now I am going to take certain creative liberties, but the first thing I like to do is just slap down a fighter cockpit on the front, just because we kind of know where, like, sort of where to go with that. So already there, we've got the kind of decent look of an aircraft. So, and what we can do as well, it looks a little blocky on the wings, but we can always like tidy that up. As well as that, those don't line up correctly as well, so we can always lower this whole thing by one. In fact, I think we'd kind of better do that. And we can make the tailplane a little higher. And that means we can make the engines longer as well. But yeah, so that's what we'll do. We'll quickly just... there we are. So I think what we may move those forward. But this is just kind of how I kind of go about doing it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the first thing, and that is... There we go. I think that looks good. Right, tailplane. There we are. Very nice, kind of short, sleek looking tailplane. Actually, I think going up one more block could make it look a little more aesthetically pleasing. There we go. And we kind of just apply the same kind of treatment all the way along the craft. We just add in just simple blocky kind of textures like this, and then we just improve with the detail as we go along. Now, one thing I will say as well that I do like doing with mine is never put the hydrogen tanks directly below the engines. What I like to do is a simple conveyor converter. Conveyor converter. We just simply do this to protect it, and then we rig up a O2 double layer of O2 H2 generators. So basically, if it gets shot at, you're generally quite fine, because it won't hit any fuel tanks, and a worst it'll hit is these, which will if they've got light of ice in them, it'll break out and destroy ice, but the ice should just fly out the back of your craft, so you're generally quite fine. Well, mostly fine. But overall, that's the two main engines done already. Obviously, you can set these further back if you want to, or like add a bit of greebling around the edge of these, which we may come back to. But next thing is we're actually going to fix the wings. So now, we're going to have space here for hydrogen tanks and cockpits, but for those of you who actually know fighter planes, you'll actually know that most of the fuel is actually stored in the wings, and that's just in general for planes. So what I like to do is I like to have we run the hydrogen tank across here, we run the hydrogen tank across here, and then we run it up one, because what we do is we then get the conveyors out. So we run a small conveyor line all the way along here. We'll whack a T-junction here, and we'll whack a corner block here, and then as we essentially kind of go along the wings, we just add in we just work out where we're going to place conveyors. Okay, so what this gives us, okay, is if we need any extra power for the plane, all we can do is take this edge off and rig thrusters along here should we need them. If we need any deceleration for when we do that, we can literally just take off bits of this prevailing edge, wire them directly into the conveyor system. And also, this creates a lot of backup systems for these hydrogen tanks as well, because if for whatever reason, like these tanks on the edge here get busted where the conveyors are, there are bypasses all the way around, because they're all connected at one end of the wing or another. If you want to be extra careful, you can wire them, like wire an extra conveyor line down the middle, just if you want to be extra paranoid. But these are basically the wings essentially done. So what I like to do is just cover them up with half blocks. So the wings are done. I will say the aircraft, okay, does look a bit kind of stubby around here, just the way where the engines and the wing kind of meets. And if you look at it from kind of here, it does look a bit like it's being kind of thrown together. So yeah, there's just interesting ways of how you do fix that. We may just move this up and move this slightly further back to make the engine pods a little longer and just to kind of merge everything together. There's basically a lot of ways you can fix these little design problems as they come up. Okay, we're just going to take this off and we're just going to mount up the side profile. Like this. Ta-da! Now what I kind of like to do here is just take some of these blocks out along the side, like this, and then you can kind of put in the half block like this. Create like kind of an extra level of connection, and then you can just add a bit of detail by going along here like this. Oh, and we need to put these in. So, you know, you can kind of play with those how you like. I think they look okay. And yeah. Right. So with this, I feel like we'll rig that up like this, and we'll just take this off, and we'll literally, just to fix the little kind of cool little winglets, what we'll do is we'll kind of make them thin but long. I think make it a bit shorter as well. There we go. There we go. Now we've got winglets. And now as well we can rig this into here, and we can kind of thin out this part of the fuselage and just make it a bit rounder. So what we'll do is we'll rig this like this. To be fair, if we wanted to, we could mount some little air intakes in there if we wanted. But now what we want to do is we want to just kind of do a little bit of this. Now, we've got a lot of negative space there. Don't worry, we are going to play with that in a second. We'll just come back to it. The cockpit, I feel, maybe set a bit too far forward, and maybe we should bring the winglets further. What we'll do is we'll just keep messing with it as we play around, and we'll see. Like, Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful. So, as well, like, you can do this, but I kind of like to do something like that to kind of give it a little bit of extra protection, or even just to make it a little more in line with the fuselage. We do this, this. So now we need to basically start rounding off the fuselage a bit more. We need to do a kind of mounting point. Like, we need to kind of increase the way the wings kind of spread into the rest of the main body. And kind of maybe or we can like take off the back. To be fair, we can cut this section out and bring the cockpit further back to kind of make it shorter. Or equally, we can bring the wings back. I mean, I think the simplest solution is to just make this next section a little bigger and just kind of merge it into the rest of the craft. Okay, so that makes for quite an interesting shape, I feel, and now we can just fill some of this in. But yeah, in here we are actually going to make the interior, the door. Yes, we are going to have a door because these cockpits are great, but they get shot out very easily. So we're just going to finish off the cockpit here. Weapon-wise, I think we are just going to rig it straight off the cockpit and we'll put a little underslung Gatlings here. So now we have the well-protected Gatlings, we actually have most of the nose done. So it literally just comes to the internal conveying and the actual interior secondary cockpit. And now there's a reason we have those, but we also have to worry about the fuel requirement as well. I will say I have built all of this in light armor, just because I think it's just more practical. And if you're putting heavy armor in your fighters, it should literally only be around the cockpit block or like hydrogen tanks and that sort of thing. Because the faster you can go, the less you get hit. We'll crack on with the conveying and everything else. I kind of like putting small reactors like this, purely so you can jump start them, but I may inset this one here. I actually reckon have it one more back. So it's actually a little tucked in, because the more you tuck in your guns, the harder they are to get actually destroyed. And then we can just do this, and just do covering all around the guns. Now, next thing to do is we need to figure out how the heck we're going to do the cockpit block as well as a bunch of the fuel. So what we'll do is, how big is the actual cockpit block? Oh, okay. Yeah, this will work. So we're going to go for cockpit block roughly in the kind of center here. So what we're immediately going to do is we're going to do this. And then we're going to go down like this. In fact, hang on. No, we're going to take this top section out. And we're going to... No, not like that. We're going to put heavy slope like this. There we go. And now we should be able to put the cab cockpit in here. Now this also lines up perfectly with the conveyor system because we have two conveyor lines here, so we can run them straight through. And we can actually run light armor under the bottom here without it actually breaking the armor's kind of configuration. As in, it will flow, the heavy armor won't break it up. And for the top, if we take this top section out, we can now put a door in. Door. Yeah. So we can now, if we take this panel out and we take this panel out, we can do that. We can do this. There, like that. That kind of gives like a cool looking door effect without compromising the design too much, and then you can just simply open the door, hop in, and you're in. Now, you may be questioning as well why I actually do this. It's because this cockpit literally gets done instantly. So, you want to actually survive in these jets. Literally doing this is just perfect. Now, as well as that, we don't actually have any... we don't have any thrust going up to actually keep us in the air, nor do we have any more kind of directional kind of thrust anywhere. So what we can do is we can think about putting them here, but that if we put missiles on this thing, that could conflict. So I kind of actually like to stick a couple of them in the end here, which is what this is all for. So all we have to do is just simply put a couple of conveyor junctions in. There we are. Where's my hydrogen engine? Okay, I haven't got a hydrogen thruster. Take out the half block, and then we simply go boom, and immediately we have side thrust. Not a lot, but then you don't generally need a lot. As well as that, I generally like to take out a couple of blocks on here. As well as that, you can use this point for weapons and mount the side thrusters along here, because that's something else I quite like to do, is just take this section out. Because look at that, we have three little slots where you can put the side thrusters. Ta-da! But that's as well something I quite like to do, as well as just mounting them on the top and bottom of the engines, because we can do that as well. Because we immediately have some places for directional thrust. Is this like an aircraft? No, but it's still very handy. And did I think this through in advance? Kind of, yes. And that's not even a lie, I did slightly think that through. Which is rare for me, I know, but you know, here we go. And of course, the one thing I will say as well is you have got to basically watch where you can put like a hydrogen tank. So I think we may have to mess with moving the cockpit back so we can actually put a hydrogen tank in. Because that's what we want to do, ideally. We want to have a large hydrogen tank. I've often found that landing gear can be a little more kind of reliable if you actually don't use the plates and use the actual landing gear block. So what we'll probably do is we'll just take this out and we'll put the actual kind of block. Like, I love using the plates, don't get me wrong, but I've often just found that with like aircraft like parts, it is just kind of annoying and it's easier to do it like this, providing you get it the right way round. There we go. For now, we can actually kind of land it, and here we can kind of we can maybe do like a landing plate on a piston or something like that. The next thing we kind of have to do is calculate how much upthrust we are going to need. So it comes in at about 82,000. I'm going to swing that to 90, just because I like to have a bit more. We're going to crack out the Space Engineer's thruster calculator. So we need 3 large hydrogen thrusters or 12 small hydrogen thrusters. So obviously we're going to go a lot over that, and we are going to go for probably like 20 or so. One thing I will say as well, we will need to kind of watch our fuel consumption as well. But we want to be fast and we want to be agile, so we're going to... I will say, I think I've come up with the name for this, the Vulcan, because it looks like the old Vulcan bombers that the British used to have. So, yeah, how much weight have we actually gone up to is also the question. We're at 91, so I'm going to go ahead and bump it up to 100,000. 13 hydrogen thrusters. Okay, so going up to like... We'll also have to check fuel consumption as well, and agility is the big thing. So I'm going to do something a bit bold and actually disconnect it from the... Okay, so now it is flying. So what we're just going to very carefully do is lower it to the ground. Try and... Okay. Oh wait, to be fair, it's got enough weight at the back that it kind of sits like this and it's kind of okay. You just... maybe invest in a ladders to sort that little problem. Ooh. Oh, yeah, we didn't come back and fix this either. So, what we'll have to do is we'll have to kind of extend the wing kind of profile back a little bit. There we are. That doesn't look too bad. Bit of colour and that'll look so natural. Now the other thing we're going to do is we're just going to float it up and just check some of the agility. That's not bad. Also we'll name it a Vulcan fighter. In info tab, it's show center of mass. This is a really good thing to have because it'll make you Center of mass should be roughly where the cockpit is, because it'll also work out where to put gyros for maximum agility. Okay, we'll rig a conveyor junction there, T-junction, there and there. Remember as well with these, you should be optimizing your build for least amount of lag, so that means less conveying. But also, bear in mind that I've done the conveyors like this purely because if you have the conveyor blocks down here and it the other way round, if the conveyor blocks that like pipe sighted like in multiple directions get shot, the rest of your thrusters are fucked. If you do them in lines like this, one hits this thruster and then hits this conveyor block in here. Upon the thruster sits on, it won't affect any of the others. Okay, they do turn on. Excellent. And we have a weight of 131,000. Purely because of gyros, I reckon. So we're going to bump that up to 150,000. For 150,000, you need 19. So this should take... I've still got my landing gear on. Okay, so it's a bit of a chubby fighter. Okay, I will admit. Let's get some of the weapons on. You have some decent forward-facing firepower. Oh, we need to put the camera on the front. Oh my goodness, it's fast. Okay, speed could use a little work. It's not quite fast, but oh my goodness, the agility. The agility is insane. Look at this! Can we do a loop? Oh. Let's maybe not do that until, like... Okay, the one thing we are going to have to watch is fuel consumption. Because, this is pretty good. Just, we need some more thrusters on the back. Point is, it's not kind of fast enough, so what we'll do is we'll put, like, a contingent of 3... on each wing. So one super close to the hull, one bit further out. Never put like all your thrusters in one basket. Top tip for you there. Now, as well as that, if you like, you can extend these wing bits out and make proper little winglets, which will then provide a little more cover over the thrusters. I'm not going to do that, but obviously that's just something you can do to... next thing we want to do as well is we want to put some reverse thrusters on, and we want to whack the camera on the front as well, so we can see. There we are. Huzzah. Now it's gone up to 138 just by doing that, but our thrusters are a good for up to 150. But yeah, we can still fly. Our speed's pretty decent. Oh yeah, look at this. Fucking take off into the sunset. Let's go. Huzzah. Right. Okay, how long does it take to slow down? It doesn't take too long. If we pull up, what happens as well? The downwards one slow us down. Well, okay. As well, let's come to a full stop. One test I like to do is I just like to point down as if you're going to do an attack run. Oh, we actually stay up. Okay. Right, we've now flipped our world into survival. So now we're going to hop in and do the thruster test. We're just going to fly up and we're going to hover. And what I like to do is I get the clock app out. When it drops the percentage, I make a note of how long it's taken. Oh, whoops. Okay, so we're going to start the timer. It's about 98 and I do 3 laps. So when it hits 97, we do that. '96. And 95. Oh, that 95 one was a bit late. So that gives us like around 6, 7, and 8 seconds. Sorry, 6, 8, and like 9 seconds. So what we do is we crack out the calculator. We go 6 plus 8 plus 9. 23 divided by 3. So about 7 seconds per percent. That's about 12 minutes flight time. And you think, that's not very long. Well, firstly, that's 12 minutes flight time of idle, okay? That actually lasts you a lot more longer than you think. And depending on how long battles last as well, 12 minutes can be longer than you think. So I've done a calculation for other like jets that have only taken 10 minutes, and in my experience they've often just lasted a lot longer than that, so I will say this calculation is not like absolute. The other test I like to do as well is we literally do hold roll, hold W, and hold space, and just see of how much fuel we burn, theoretically burning like the max. So we're losing fuel like every couple of seconds or so. Oh, let's slow the fuck down. So that's not too bad. That's just to simulate like quick roll of an attack. And honestly, I wouldn't say, apart from the freakish lag that suddenly happened, this isn't too bad of a design. So we are back now. It's less laggy. And I will just say this is the Merlin, and this over here is the Falcon. This was based on a MiG design, and that's kind of my space engineering take on the F-35. So yeah, both of these were like built with the kind of style I took over here to building, only, you know, here I did the actual frame first, whereas there I just kind of started building but with the design. And here we are, we have the jet fully painted here, ta-da! And honestly, I really like it. We've painted it in a black military kind of style. I always put like a kind of black trim around like the engines and around the wingtip as well, because I think it's nice. I've had a nice blue go faster stripe all the way along the top. Bit of an issue with the tailplane of I do like to do this blue stripe here and it goes all the way down, but can't go there because those blocks are there. So yeah, I mean, I've kind of tried to mimic what I did here. And yeah, really, I've done these little wingtips in white. I think that looks cool. I haven't done much underneath though. I will say one thing you could do, and I do kind of like doing, is actually painting the connector yellow, so you can actually see it a bit better. But that's just a kind of styling choice, and obviously there's lots of cool things you could do here with like little armor bits in here. Because you could do something like this. To be fair, I may do that. I may just leave it like that. You can make like all sorts of little modifications to make it kind of look better with these. But honestly, as well here, you've got a lot of negative space. Equally as well, remember, you can literally take apart... Oh. Take apart a section of this wing. And you can take on these hydrogen tanks out and use it to mount a missile point underneath if you want to add missiles on. Because it's literally as simple as that. And you could just put like a, you know, rig up a conveyor junction and a small connector there and just attach a missile underneath. And then all you have to do is work out whether or not you've got enough thrusters. But even if you haven't, remember you can literally just take apart this, take a couple of gyros out, and immediately just put stuff in. Because all my jets are generally designed to be quite adaptable for whatever task you've done. All it literally requires is just taking apart a couple of bits. But yeah, landing gear is a bit weird, though I will say, and the jet did come out a little chonky. But honestly, this Vulcan jet, I'm very happy with. And I hope this video have given you some tips on how to make better planes and fightercraft. But remember as well, always use the back cockpit. because that way you won't get shot out your seat. But yeah, that's it from me. So thank you all for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!